The greatest spectacle in all of motorsports looms closely as the fastest 33 drivers in the world get ready for the 111th Indianapolis 500-mile race. Months of build-up, months of anticipation, and weeks of practice and time trials have gotten us to this day, and a driver will add their face to the chrome immortality of the Germain Espinoza Trophy. Welcome, everyone, to ABN's coverage of the Indianapolis 500. The past 3 years, it has been the Verizon Team Impulse Playground here at the Brickyard. This year, that fact of life is the shakiest it has been over the last few years. None of the Team Impulse cars made it into the Fast 9 shootout to go for pole position. Even worse, the current IndyCar World Championship points leader, Thomas Rogers, failed to qualify for this race last weekend. Today, his job is to support his team. He's on the pit box of his teammate BK Glover to try to assist however he can from outside the cockpit as he watches on this afternoon. With Verizon Team Impulse at its most vulnerable, it's a wide open door for Cat Devil Racing, who won this race 4 years in a row from 2015 to 2018, as well as Atomic Autosport looking for its first win here at the Brickyard, as well as Strucker Motorsports and others. Ford and Chevrolet have looked the strongest this month in race trim, and those two engine manufacturers compose the majority of the top 14 on the starting grid here this afternoon. We'll get to see some returning faces for today's race, along with a robust rookie class. And we'll walk through the field in a moment. One of the drivers we'll highlight here, Hazel Leon. It's a fresh restart for the Kiwi. After winning this race 2 years in a row with Team Impulse, as well as the 2021 IndyCar World Championship, Leon went to race for the Alpine in Formula One. 31 races and just 15 points later, Cat Devil Racing came around, buying out her contract to draft her in as a super sub. Kinemisa Kenosha, for those that have not followed along in the past 3 weeks, either on ABN Plus or on ABN Sports, is not present in a driving capacity and will not be for the rest of the season. Her season is over after being injured in a crash at the very end of the race in Homestead, Miami. Kenosha had surgery over 2 weeks ago, which was successful in stabilizing the broken bones in her legs to get her on the way to recovery. She is here at Indianapolis today, and she's on the number one pit box. The pit box on your screen in the bottom right-hand corner. Sakura Ishibashi, her stepsister, starts this race from pole position. So CUNY helping her team, helping family, try to find success once again here in Indianapolis. She'll sit alongside Sakura's race engineer as this race gets underway. Leon fills in for Kenosha. So once again, Leon and Ishibashi teammates as well. Going to be interesting to see how that dynamic sort of rejuvenates itself here once we get in the race time. They've worked well in practice. We've seen a lot of it. Will they work together in the race? Amidst the juggernaut teams from Ford and Chevrolet, there's two single-car team efforts that will start in the top 10 after a phenomenal time trial weekend last weekend. Frostfire Racing's Kira Moore starts on the front row today, the 67 car powered by Honda. Moore is looking to be the ultimate spoiler for the Ford return party here in Indianapolis. For Honda is a show of positivity in a month that has seen Honda as a whole struggle. Kira Moore, starting on the front row, her second ever start here at Indianapolis, looks to be a positive step in the right direction for Frostfire Racing as well. Another Honda, the Rosgreaves Racing Team with Astra Crane behind the wheel, will also start in a pretty good spot. Crane starts this race from 8th place today, her best ever start here at the Brickyard. It's going to be very interesting seeing how this all shakes up, how it all plays out across 500 miles. A lot of story points to talk through here. So let's go ahead and start with the fastest 33 cars. Let's go through the starting grid, and we'll start with the last place car, Isabel Lantra, qualified by the slimmest of margins to get into the Indianapolis 500 field for the first time. Did not have a great race on Friday for the Cambridge 300 in the Champ Car Challenger Series. Looking to have a better time out, starting last in the field. It is an achievement when you think that there's 9 cars that are not in this race today. Lantra, one of those that are gifted and privileged in the field of 33. Isabel Lantra will be right behind row 16's Juliet DeCani from Cherokee, North Carolina. Arrowhead Racing's 4th car there. Juliet DeCani's raced the full season. Arrowhead Racing largely disappointed with how the team has performed here in Indianapolis. It is a giant Toyota issue, though. Both Team Impulse and Arrowhead Racing well away from the front of the field here this afternoon to start this race. They've got to work their way forward. The positive news is that Toyota seem to have some of the best fuel mileage here. That could be very important. We'll talk about that on the flip side of the starting grid here. Karina Sakurauchi, another Toyota car, this time for Verizon Team Impulse, while Rogers missed the field. Night City's own Karina Sakurauchi is in for her first Indianapolis 500. The dirt track specialist from 410 wing sprints to the winged cars going 240 miles an hour in qualifying. She'll start this race from 31st. 30th place is the winner of the Cambridge 300 on Friday, Katerina Milinkovic from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Last of the Striker Motorsports cars, but all the Striker cars have looked fantastic here at the Brickyard all month long, whether it was in the Challenger Series, getting ready for the Cambridge 300 earlier this week, or just here getting ready for the Indianapolis 500s. Stephanie Porter-Kelly's looked good. Matthias Michelin's looked outstanding most of the month of May. Elise Alexander has been quietly the most consistent of the group throughout the entire season so far. Milinkovic in really good standing there, that 4-car team, the headlining team for Chevrolet here at Indianapolis. Alongside Milinkovic is Sonia Walker, the 2021 NAMRA Cup Series champion, is a rookie once again, this time making her debut at the Indianapolis 500. The Griffin, Georgia native, one of 2 drivers from the state of Georgia in this field, both of them Cup Series champions. We'll talk about Wyatt Jones further on up the order. Row 14, starting 28th, is Jamie Marie Jardine. Has been very quiet on if this is indeed a retirement race officially for the Kiwi from Auckland, New Zealand, 2-time IndyCar World Champion in 2015 and 2019. Never got to say a formal goodbye as the season rolled through to 2020. That was when Horizon Corporation took over the series, and a lot of changes made their way in, including the chassis that she is now in for the first time in 5 years. For Verizon Team Impulse, she's in that bright-colored PPG machine in 28th, alongside Taiwan's own Shufan Zhang, who qualified 27th in the running order, was the last one in through day 1 of time trials on Saturday last weekend. Has not had a lot of pace going through this final week of practice, but anything can happen here on race day. We're going to see that as we go through these 200 laps. That's row 14 in a nutshell. Row 13, it's all gold in this row. Gold and black across the board. For a special occasion, it's BK Glover in 26th. A 4-time Champ Car race winner from Mineral Wells, Texas. He won his home race for the first time, Texas Motor Speedway, earlier this season. He starts alongside his fellow Texan Cameron Jackson, who won at Nashville this year as well. 9 Champ Car race wins between the two of them. They're both wearing gold for a reason. It is Mobil 1's 50th anniversary this year. Mobil 1 is sponsor for both Jackson and Glover. They're wearing inverse schemes to make up for it. Glover with the gold nose, Cameron Jackson with the gold side pods. As we roll through row 13, that's 25th and 26th on the grid. Outside row 12, 24th for Rachel Koivuniemen, the IndyCar National Championship leader, the leader of the Champ Car Challenger Series grid, starts in 24th today. And you'll see a lot of the Airhead cars in this cluster here. Koivuniemen in great company, starting alongside the defending Indianapolis 500 champion and Artyom Kozlov. Kozlov very disappointed to be down in 23rd position on the grid. A lot of work to do for that Verizon 5G Toyota to try to move through the field here today. Again, keep an eye on that 3. Keep an eye on the 61 as well. They both seem to have a decent amount of pace to try to move through the field. And that's very important because these two, again, Toyota entries have had among the best mileage for fuel range across this last week of practice. We'll see if that holds up here on race day. It's cooler now than it has been all week, and you see the cloud cover off in the distance. No rain threatening the race day, but it has cooled the track down by 7 degrees compared to what it was on Friday. Row 11, Keisha Fox from Bar Harbor, Maine, another Arrowhead racing car, another driver from the Champ Car Challenger Series. One career win for Keisha Fox as she starts from 22nd on the grid. That was at Road America, her rookie season back in 2020. She starts alongside a two-time IndyCar World Champion in Andrew Draco. 2017 and 2020 World Championships for Andrew Draco. Draco trying to shake off the family curse that has plagued his family at this track for so many years, for decades. What can he do from the 21st starting position? He qualified 11th, but had a 10-place grid spot for an engine failure in Homestead, Miami. So he's got pace. That entire Phantom Motorsports team has had pace. He's just got to get through the field to make sure he can use it here today. Row 10 is Alicia Kovalkiewicz and David Wessel. Kovalkiewicz in 20th spot, 8-time Champ Car race winner, won for the first time on an oval last year when we went to Chicagoland. Looking to have something positive happen here is the leading car of the Arrowhead Racing Armada, that 4-car fleet. You notice that it was Kovalkiewicz, Fox, and Koivuniemen all on the outside, rows 10, 11, and 12. Kovalkiewicz starting alongside another Phantom Motors car, David Wessel, the New Jersey native, a 2-time Champ Car race winner. Back when he was with Phantom Motors the first time, now back with Phantom Motors. He looked impressive at Texas a couple months ago, trying to bring that back now in the 41 car instead of Ian Draco's 13 machine. 18th spot outside row 9 is the winner of the last race before this one. Mia Valdez, the 2014 IndyCar World Champion, won the last time out in Homestead, Miami, in a wild turn of events there. Obviously, we talked about the injuries of Kenosha there. Valdez picking up the pieces for the Cat Devil Racing team, sitting right now in row 9. Cat Devil Racing, all 5 cars made the field. They are the largest fleet in the field this year. Valdez starts alongside Jace Clark, 5 years in the making. An Indianapolis 500 rookie, was denied the chance to start this race his rookie season in 2020. Already a Champ Car race winner. He won at Brno his rookie year in that 2020 campaign. Looking to add some history to his legacy here at the Brickyard. 5 years in delay. Row 8 is where you'll find Natalia Velicevic for Atomic Autosport. The Slovenian driver finished 4th last year. Looked really good, looked really competitive. It's a wide open race this year, so a lot more cars have floated towards the top of those standings. Velicevic, though, very aggressive, will try to move through the field early. She's got to get through some on the row, though, inside of row 8, starting in the 15th starting position from Geneva, Switzerland, the Swiss Miss, in her 7th Indianapolis 500 start. 2 years ago, she finished 10th in this race. Row 7, 3-time IndyCar World Champion Steffi Porter-Kelly starts to the outside of 3-time AT&T Cup Series champion Wyatt Jones. 6 championships at the top of their game in row number 7. Porter-Kelly from Orlando, Florida, looking for race win number 47. She is one of the odds-on favorites to win this race. She's looked really, really good this past week in practice, getting ready for this race. Wyatt Jones, one of the Ford cars in the field, starting in 13th position. Missed out on making the Fast 9. That shouldn't be a problem. His team feeling confident with where that car is at right now. They have a top 10 car. Just wasn't top 10 in qualifying there. They're in row 7 trying to make their way forward. Row 6, just outside the top 10, is 12th place Matthias Michelin, who in the first week of practice was one of the consistently best cars in the field. That dropped off a little bit this week as they've been trying to figure things out in the changing conditions, the changing wind speeds as well. The Sao Paulo native, a 3-time Champ Car race winner, but it's been a long time since Michelin's been in victory lane. He's looking to break that win the streak here today if he can do so. Remember, he finished on the podium in 2018. He knows what it's like to be close to success here at Indianapolis. Elise Alexander trying to do what her late father, the late, great Michael Alexander, could not do in his career, and that's win Indianapolis. She has been fantastic all season long. The Nashville native in her 3rd Indianapolis 500 start will start 11th in this field. Row 5, the top 10, is earmarked by a couple of rookies for the Atomic Autosports squad. Roberto Crown Jr. on the inside of row 5 from Stamford, Connecticut, a 11-time NAMRA Cup Series race winner. alongside a race winner in the Champ Car World Series with Maria Damata. Won at Texas last year, trying to do some impressive stuff. Did not qualify for this race last year. Failed to qualify in the field, and in the field comfortably in that 10th spot. Looking into row 8, it's Astra Crane, the Allison Alien we mentioned earlier, one of the top 2 Honda cars in this field. Crane, the 4-time Champ Car race winner, last one at Richmond in 2021. She starts alongside the 2-time Indianapolis 500 champion and 2021 IndyCar World Champion Hazel Leon, filling in for CUNY Kinoshita. They make up 7th and 8th on the grid. Row 4 is them. Row 3, Catherine Hart finished 9th last year in her Indianapolis 500 debut. The Australian now starting this race in 6th, a better starting position than she had last year, trying to capitalize on that. She lines up alongside the defending IndyCar World Champion Nicole Lechty, the Iron Maiden from Lausanne, Switzerland, trying to win at Indianapolis for the first time. Let's see what she can do from 5th on the grid. Her mother, Rita Lechty, the 2001 world champion, in attendance for this race, cheering on her daughter here at the Brickyard. Row 2, the top 4, you find Evangeline Porter, 8 years winless across the Champ Car World Series and the AT&T Cup Series, but a 9-time Champ Car race winner overall. She sits in 4th position alongside last year's Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year, the Estonian Mia Vitsut. Mia Vitsut looked incredible this month. Did not have a great race on Friday for the Challenger Series, but has looked outstanding for this race in particular. Finished this race in 2nd place last year. She knows what it's like to be close to that ultimate success, close to immortality, trying to seal a deal here today in the most wide open race of the bunch, and she's inarguably on one of the best teams to make it happen. We get to the front row. It's Kira Moore in her 2nd Indianapolis 500 start, the 2021 F4 Canada champion and a contender in the Champ Car Challenger Series for Frostfire Racing. She starts alongside an 11-time Champ Car race winner who has not had success here at Indianapolis, either on the road course or on the oval, but it is Sakura Ishibashi on pole position for the Indianapolis 500 for the first time. Ishibashi will lead the field to green. Field of 33, the fastest drivers in the world, will be led by that Kodak 33 Ford here tonight. Ford's first pole position in over a decade here at the Speedway, trying to convert that into their first win in a very long time as well. That is the starting grid for this race. We're going to step away and let our local partners deliver a couple of their messages here for you here across ABN's variety of national channels here. When we come back, we'll dive in and get ready for the Command the Fire engines and the 111th Indianapolis 500. Don't go anywhere. Coverage resumes right after this. We're less than 5 minutes away from the Command to Fire engines here at Indianapolis, and it is an absolutely wild time as we get ready to go for this race. We went through the starting grid, everyone getting ready to go racing here in the biggest race in the world. Sakura Ishibashi, all the drivers getting strapped in and ready to go for this race. The Ford Raptor pace car ready to go to lead the field to green. A couple of rule changes going into this event. Pace speed here increased to 90 miles an hour. Drivers complained about tires getting too cold on the formation lap and under caution. So the pace speed is now 90 miles an hour. Pit speed has remained the same. 60 miles an hour is the pit speed limit. We've seen drivers get cracked for speeding already this season. You do not want that to happen here at the Brickyard. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Obviously, everyone parked up in the traditional 3x3 that historically was used back in the 20th century. But they will end up lining up 2x2 here once we get ready to go for this event. For everyone tuning in, we appreciate you spending your time here on ABN for the Indianapolis 500, the 111th edition of the greatest spectacle in motorsports. It's going to be fantastic. On the side of your screen is going to be some betting odds here as we get ready to go. MGM Bet going to be giving us some money lines here for Indianapolis, Las Vegas. Keyed into this race in particular, Sakura Ishibashi, no surprise, the odds-on favorite at the moment. Mia Vitsut also up there in the money line odds. Ishibashi positive 100, Vitsut positive 150. Hazel Leon also up there, first race back in Champ Car in over a year and a half. Sitting in that top 5 in the betting odds right now. Same with Nicole Lectie and Roberto Crown Jr. now also top 5 as well. You want your long odd shots. You're looking at the bottom of the running order. Isabel Lantra, 25,000 positive is way Lantra is looking right now. She and Jane Cameron Jackson, the 2 Dragon Motorsports cars in this field, also sitting with amazing betting odds. Bet $1. If you win, you get 2,000 back. Not a bad deal. We'll follow this through the race for those tuning in. We appreciate you spending your time with us once again. The championship's going to be shaken upside down. You look at the drivers in the running odds for the championship. It is a pretty hectic event, all things considered, going into this. We talk about Thomas Rogers coming into this race as the defending champion, or as the points leader, excuse me. Did not qualify for this race at all. Kuni Kenosha, 3rd place in points, out for the season. Kaiga Kobayashi, top 4 points, did not qualify for this race. Neither Vanter Racing car qualified for this race. Going to be a huge shuffling around of the points here by the time this race is over. Evangeline Porter, odds-on favorite to take the points lead here with her starting position. She starts this race in 4th place, but anything can happen here at Indianapolis, and we've seen throughout the years that it has at the Brickyard. But keep an eye on that. That fight's going to be very interesting to follow along with as this race progresses. Again, for everyone tuning in, this is the Indianapolis 500. We are about a minute away from the command to fire engines here. For those tuning in on ABN Plus, get your Champ Car Hot Pass. Listen in to any of the 33 drivers and watch from their onboards. We've got multiple cameras on board with all of these cars as we get ready to go for this race. Listen into the radios and get ready for the sights and sounds of the 33 fastest drivers in all of motorsports. Again, that's available only on ABN Plus. We've gone through the pageantry this morning, the cannons, the singing it back home again from Indiana, the national anthem, the Purdue marching band. The track is cleared, the drivers are strapped in, and it is time for those most famous words in all of motorsports. We'll send a trackside to hear the command, and then we'll get ready to go racing for 500 miles and 200 laps around Indianapolis.
Drivers, start your engines!
33 of the fastest cars on the planet roar to light for the first time here on Sunday. Showtime here at Indianapolis as we all get ready to go. Everyone getting in position to get ready to go. It is Sakura Ishibashi and Kira Moore front of the field. Front and center, Mia Vitsut, Evangeline Porter in row number 2. As everything gets ready to go here, as all the cars have rolled off the racetrack at this point. And it's outstanding as the series gets underway. For the first time, we get to pull up our ticker and everything as everyone gets ready to go for the greatest spectacle in all of motorsports. We're glad you're with us here on an amazing Sunday for racing. As we get ready to go, 90 miles an hour across the board. Let the lights go out in the Ford Raptor Pace Truck, and it is almost showtime. Full capacity crowd, 400,000 have crammed into Indianapolis Motor Speedway's grandstands and infield. Over 18,000 horsepower come to life, and the green flag waves. The greatest spectacle in motorsports is underway. We're racing at Indianapolis 500. Its teammates hooked up at the front of the field early. It's Ishibashi over Vitsu. Lecty up to third. Then it's Hazel Leon, Evangeline Porter top 5. As we roll through the grid here, Catherine Hart in 6th. Staying right where she started this race. As the field begins and rolls through the back straightaway on lap 2. Wyatt Jones from 13th up to 12th, only one spot gain, trying to find a way around. Astra Crane will drive through in 3 and 4 to make magic happen there. Again, it's all about trying to keep hold of the lead pack because they will separate quickly. There are the haves and have-nots here at Indianapolis. Right now, Stephanie Porter-Kelly from 14th to 10th to 9th place right now, right behind her teammate there, Elise Alexander. As the team works together, a lot of teamwork early on in this race, as they try to get around Roberta Crown Jr. And they will successfully do so. Down the back straightaway, looking at Catherine Hart. As everything rolls through here. Lecty trying to find a way around the 35 of Vitsu. Lecty in the 78. Leon in the 32. And Lecty once again looks to the inside, will not take no for an answer on the south side of the racetrack. And will be followed through by Leon. Porter, meanwhile, will also try to find a way around Vitsu, last year's Rookie of the Year. Now being sent backwards out of the top 5 and potentially further back because there's Alexander trying to pounce as well. Instead, Vitsu will line astern. Wyatt Jones trying to hang on to this group as well, sitting in the ninth position. Excuse me. That means that Astra Crane sits now in the top 10, having gotten around Roberta Crown Jr. as well. Crown in the 11th spot, just in front of teammate Maria D'Amata. And then you have Matthias Michelin, the Panasonic blue and yellow machine, special livery work for the 99, going into this event. Then you have Simona Leroux, the Swiss Miss, sitting in 14th spot over David Wessel. As we see different conglomerations of cars in this field early on. There's Wessel, there's Vilisevic, who's not made a lot of headway. Kira Moore dropped back from the front of the field, from the front row, down to 17th position, nestled in between 2 Atomic Autosport cars, the Coke Zero car of Vilisevic and the Coke Cherry car of Jace Clark. Mia Valdez in 19th in the top 20, earmarked by the Tequila Patron, number 96 of Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Richard Koivanemi, the national championship leader, sitting in 21st, ahead of Andrew Draco. Keisha Fox, there's BK Glover, one of the 2 gold cars, both of them still close together. Glover's found a way ahead of Jackson, who stays ahead of Malenkovic. There's Jamie Marie Jardine, Artyom Kozlov, there's Karina Sakurauchi, falling backwards now, battling with Sonia Walker, that is ahead of Juliet Takani, Shufan Zhang, and Isabel Lantra. Front of the field, though, is still Ishibashi, ahead of Lecty, ahead of Porter, as Leon's dropped back by a sizable amount down to the 9th spot. Freight trains running early here at Indianapolis. Leon down to 9th position behind Wyatt Jones. Teammates against each other right now. Porter Kelly worked with Alexander for a decent amount, but now it's time to hit the pavement running, and that's what Porter Kelly's done. Put Porter Kelly up to the 6th spot. Fastest lap right now for Porter Kelly at 2:26.803. Wyatt Jones, fastest lap of anybody right now, a 2:27.313 for the Atlanta, Georgia native, nestled in between Alexander and Leon, and just ahead of a former adversary from the Cup Series and Roberto Crown Jr. Crown car 10 in P10 right now as things sit after just setting his fast lap of the race in that draft. Porter Kelly in pursuit of Mia Vitsu as Wyatt Jones looks to the inside, takes a peek, and will now go to the inside of Alexander, trying to make his way forward up to 7th place through turns 1 and 2, and Alexander now free falling further afield of the front group. Top 4 still pretty close together. It is Ishibashi with a slight advantage over Lecty, over Porter, former teammates, protege and mentor, 2nd and 3rd. Lecty got brought into Champ Car by Porter and that Atomic Autosport group. Now racing for Red Bull Highlight Racing. An orange and white TE connectivity car sits 2nd place on the grid as we roll so far. We're on lap 10 of 200 here in the world's greatest spectacle. Ishibashi's led every lap so far in this race. Lecty trying to challenge. It is Ford, Chevrolet, Ford, 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 the top 5. And then another Chevrolet with Porter Kelly already from 14th up to 6th in this race so far. Harder than I heard both the drivers in the top 7, in row 7, with Wyatt Jones sitting right now in 7th, have moved up at least 7 spots. Porter Kelly's moved up 8, Jones has moved up 6 in this race. Pretty well averaging out as things run at the moment. Field stabilizing as we roll through the corners of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is a very tricky track when you're in traffic, especially with these cars as trimmed out as they have been. Lap time still pretty blisteringly quick, 226 mile-an-hour lap times. That is 39 seconds to take care of 2.5 miles. Completing lap 11 as Michelin sits just outside the top 10 in the 12th spot. Astra Crane sitting in the 11th position right now, just ahead. Wyatt Jones closing in. Porter Kelly, as you saw, got around Vitsu. Wyatt Jones closing in, as is Leon. Some dangerous cars getting closer and closer to the front of the field. Lecty, this is the closest she's been in a few laps. Completing lap 12. Not far away from Ishibashi, but Ishibashi really good at the south side of the racetrack. Their winds right now are it's heading south, so it's a tailwind down the front straightaway, headwind right now, and it's not helping Lecty at all at this part of the racetrack. Captain Hart looks for 3rd. Phantom Motorsports driver, a series rookie, not an Indianapolis 500 rookie, trying to make some headway, and does so, getting up to the 3rd spot. Now it's sisters. Younger sister Evangeline, older sister Stephanie. Battling it out now for the top 4 spot. Vitsu in the wings waiting, so is Wyatt Jones. Captain Hart showing some fight, trying to close in now once again on the race leaders. And here we go for the race lead, Lecty. Starting lap 15 has dethroned Ishibashi from the front of the field, the defending world champion, looking for an Indianapolis 500 crown. And now Ishibashi in trouble, trying to stay ahead of Captain Hart. They are side by side, entering 3, and Ishibashi shuts the door on Captain Hart. Big time moves there. Catherine Hart stays in third, though, as Porter-Kelly battles with her sister. It's Eva and Stephanie battling for the top 5, and Porter-Kelly ends up falling right back in line. Meanwhile, Wyatt Jones under threat from Lyon, 2-time winner of this race. Wyatt Jones in his second Indianapolis 500, and now understanding why this is the greatest spectacle. As quickly as he was gaining, he has lost all those positions. He will drop down the order. Battling alongside Vitsu. This is for the 7th spot. And Vitsu struggled to keep pace there. Will drop down and stay in 8th place. Wyatt Jones now in the 7th spot. Porter-Kelly moving up spots here. It is 4th place for Porter-Kelly, 3rd place for Catherine Hart. Top 2 still wheeling and dealing as the Phantom Motorsports driver tries to claw back in. But now it is Lechty out in front. Pit windows between 37 and 40 laps. If you can get to 40, you're golden. If not, this could be a very tense race as you try to make up mileage in some way, shape, or form. Including lap number 17. Lechty out in front. All 33 cars still running. There is Sonia Walker down pit lane early. 5 laps down. Having an issue. 2021 NAMRA Cup Series champion. Not having a great start. Ishibashi trying to get back to the race lead. Lechty now with that clean, fresh air. Porter-Kelly's gotten away with 3rd. Catherine Hart's dropped down to 6th as this race moves along. Leon in 5th, Porter in 4th. Look at Alexander sitting right there in 7th place as well. Wyatt Jones looks to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. Very close calls there between the 25 and the 10. Wyatt Jones, though, will take that 8th position away as they go out of turns 2 down the back straightaway. You see this giant cluster of cars. It is an absolute serpentine down the back straightaway. Everyone looking for real estate here. Wessel could not get close enough to Crane that time. Meanwhile, D'Amato looks to the inside of her teammate. It's the 8 and the 7 for Atomic Autosport. D'Amato and Velicevic ahead of Andrew Draco, who's made up some spots here. Obviously qualified 11th, has a fast car. Trying to make his way forward as well in that U.S. Navy machine. Across the line in 15th position, trying to take 14th away from D'Amato, and now in trouble. As now he's pinned on the outside lane and will lose a lot of positions. The outside lane not very grippy, a lot of dirt and dust buildup across all the practice sessions and obviously the race on Friday as well. The grip just not up there on that outside lane in the corners. And Draco, unfortunately, is now pinned in it alongside D'Amato as they begin their descent backwards in the order. Glover, meanwhile, making his way forward in the field. Started this race 26th up to 18th. Slow and steady. Gets even more competitive as this race goes along. Cameron Jackson now pinned to the outside lane as well. And you see Michelin, he has fallen all the way from his lofty qualifying position near the top 10. He is now down, he's 25th and falling in this race. So Sakurauchi tries to find a way around Cameron Jackson. Jackson tried closing the door and it did not work. So Sakurauchi will get through here. Artyom Kozlov struggling still as well. The 3 car not where they want to be. at this stanza in the race. They were hoping to qualify better. They were hoping to race better. 24th for the Russian ace. And you see right now, last car on lead lap is Shufin Zhang behind Isabel Lantra and Juliette Takani. 5 laps down is Sonia Walker in 33rd, but all 33 cars remain running here in Indianapolis through the first 23 laps. And here comes Porter Kelly, charging forward from 14th on the grid. And here comes Porter as well. Ishibashi gets the complete lap 25, now down to 4th place. Porter Kelly trying to chase down Nicole Lecty. Chevrolet has not shown this level of pace throughout the month. They've been decent, but right now it is 1-2 for Chevrolet, 4th, 3rd, and 4th. Really 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. You have to go down to Alexander at 7th to find another non-Ford in the field. But they have packed it on here. The 2 biggest teams in Chevrolet's camp right now duking it out. Wyatt Jones top 8 as well, behind Alexander. 2 clusters of 4. Now really deep into the run here. Tires beginning to wear here. The Firehawk tires provided by Firestone. Seen a couple of tire failures earlier throughout the season. We've not seen any here getting ready for this race. Tens of thousands of miles were run this month here at the Speedway. A lot of activity. No tire failures reported there. Sonia Walker's issue, an electronic issue regarding to the steering wheel. Steering wheel was not giving any output whatsoever before it caused any more electrical issues or a gearbox issue. Pulled her in to replace that steering wheel and make sure everything was good to go before letting her roll off. So unfortunate there, but still running on the racetrack, and we've seen how much that just staying in this race can mean. Sonia Walker not out of it, but sitting right now 33rd, and chance to win is over. Chance to pick up results if this race gets chaotic. We've not had a chaotic race in a couple of years. If it does get chaotic, then Sonia Walker could be in a sweet spot for it. So watch the front of the field. It is, again, Porter Kelly and Nicole Lecty. Lecty leading the way. Porter Kelly peeks to the inside. No doubt about Porter Kelly's intention here, going through turns 1 and 2 now. Porter Kelly will become the new race leader. 3rd race leader in this race is Stephanie Porter Kelly. Stephanie and Evangeline up to 1st and 2nd here. Chevy and Ford, then Chevy and Ford. Meanwhile, Catherine Hart, 5th place, closing in on this group. Here comes Lecty back again for 2nd place, and they almost make contact at 3 and 4. And this will move Porter off the podium steps and down to 4th. Porter finished 3rd here last year. Has had pace at the Speedway the last couple of years. So it's no stranger to see her in this group. It's no stranger to see Catherine Hart in this group. A bad pit stop for Catherine Hart threw her out of the running. And here comes Hazel Leon. Here comes Elise Alexander. Here comes Wyatt Jones. So Porter now in the sucker hole on that outside lane will drop all the way down to the 8th spot. 9th and 10th, Mia Vitsut and Roberto Crown Jr. on their own little island. 11th and 12th is Natalia Velicevic and Mia Valdez. Asher Crane down to 13th. David Wessel in 14th place. 15th, Kira Moore, having recovered after being outside the top 20 at one point in this race after starting second. BK Glover 16th. Then it's Keisha Fox 17th. 18th for Jace Clark. 19th for Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Then it's D'Amata, LaRoe, and Milinkovic. That gets you beyond the top 20. And here comes Jamie Marie Jardine, the 22. 3 of the 4 Verizon Team Impulse machines all in this cluster alongside Andrew Draco, Marie Jardine, Sakurauchi in the 12, and Kozlov in the 3. All in this group entering turns 3 and 4. So a lot of clusters of racing still going on here. Porter Kelly, Lechty, and Ishibashi, the 3 race leaders from this race so far, sit 1, 2, 3. The pole sitter in 3rd. As the top 8 has sprung out a little bit as they all got around Porter on their own terms. Here comes the race lead battle once again. The Iron Maiden going against the Bosnian Dynamo and Porter Kelly, the greatest of all time in World Championship history. Held off the 78 Electi. Electi will try again on the south side of the racetrack. Gets the inside lane. Ishibashi right on the gearbox to ensure second place for the 33 car. Porter Kelly will drop down to 3rd, exiting turn 2, but now vulnerable to Catherine Hart and to Hazel Leon. Chevrolet still leads. It's Chevrolet and Ford firmly in control of this race right now. And Catherine Hart got the door shut on her, but she still managed to keep the 60 car up in the outside lane. And now Porter Kelly stuck in that sucker hole position as the top 2 have broken away. Porter Kelly slots into 7th place ahead of Wyatt Jones behind her sister Evangeline. Top 2 have broken away. But it's a very feisty group in this top portion of the field. The lap times have fallen apart pretty significantly. From the fastest laps of 227.5 miles an hour, we've dropped down to about 221 miles an hour here. 221.8 being run by Catherine Hart at the moment. They've got some work to do. 35 laps in, pit stops not far away either. So drivers are running to the extent of their fuel tanks. 70 liters, 18.5 gallons. Carbon neutral butanol fuel provided by Speedway. Now here's where it gets a little bit challenging. The top 2 have begun to put space between themselves and the rest of the group. A second and a half is now the gap because these 6 cars have been battling so hard for 3rd place. It's allowed the 2 leaders to get away, and you're seeing not a lot of fighting right now between Ishibashi and Lechty. Trying to put distance between themselves before their pit stops, which are coming very shortly here. In fact, here comes Lechty, the first one in. Approaching that 37 right at the beginning of the pit window. The race leader comes down pit lane, and it will give the race lead back to Ishibashi. Ishibashi on her own could be vulnerable now. And that could neutralize things. Lechty will also be on her own when she leaves pit lane. So this is critical. Pit stops for the first time in the day will help set the stage for how the rest of this race looks. Trouble for Leon. Locked up the tires. Tagged the inside wall a little bit. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on that 32 car. But not a great pit stop. Her first pit stop in the Champ Car World Series. F1 pit stop's a lot slower. Clever leaving pit lane. A lot of cars leaving pit lane right now. A lot of leaders come down pit lane. Everyone getting up to speed here. One and two, gotta keep your car within yellow lines on the exit here. Exiting turns 1 and 2. There's Lechty. So Lechty does jump ahead. Meanwhile, Alexander has got them a lap down. Alexander did not come down pit lane there. But I believe a pit stop coming right now. Approaching lap 40 for the 11 machine. As everyone else now tries to make their pit stops. There's Roberto Crown Jr. There is Natalia Velicevic. A lot of cars getting ready to roll around here. Everyone really cycling through. There's Porter. Not going to be in touch with Lechty. Could be in touch with this group though, and Lechty's going to be on her own. So this could be a big deal. Porter Kelly did not have a great pit stop either. Will fall down into this group as Wyatt Jones tries to defend from Roberto Crown Jr. And Roberto Crown Jr. a little bit of contact there. Alexander out of pit lane now. Will not really be with this group. Can't really call it much of a group. See where she cycles out. Turn 2 comes Wyatt Jones. And whoa, car in the grass. And it's Kira Moore. It's Kira Moore in the grass with a mechanical issue. Trouble for the 67 car down pit lane once again. After already recently being down pit lane, now back down pit lane again. We'll see what's going on with the 67 car, if this is a retirement for the first time this race. What a disaster it's been for that 67 car after starting this race in second place. And it's just completely fallen apart. For the Interstate Batteries machine, very slow crawl. And they're going to try to service this car and see what's the issue. And it looked like it was a loose tire for Kira Moore that she had to limp back around, which is devastating. Because that's another lap down for Moore to get service taken care of. Lechty leads the way, completing lap 42 in the Indianapolis 500. We've had several different race leaders. Lechty's led the most at 19 laps, 15 laps for Sakura Ishibashi. A lap led for Porter Kelly. Porter Kelly's led 4 laps, Alexander led 2. So we've had 5 different race leaders in this race. Lechty out front, being closed in though by a trio of Fords. It's Ishibashi, Hart, and Porter. Closing in. We're going to stay along with ABN nonstop here from the Indianapolis 500 and follow along as This trio of Fords try to chase down the defending world champion. Saw there alongside as Sakura Shibashi got passed by Catherine Hart and by Evangeline Porter in this 4-car fight, getting close to the front of the field. Lecty on her own, setting 223.8 mile-an-hour laps, 226 for Catherine Hart, Evangeline Porter, and Sakura Ishibashi. 3 mile-an-hour difference. That's half a second a lap that they've closed in. And now Catherine Hart, Evangeline Porter, and Sakura Ishibashi are in the draft of the race leader. Teammates sitting not far behind either. Chevrolet have a contingency plan. It's Stephanie Porter-Kelly and Elise Alexander. And then you have Natalia Velisevich, who, through pit stops, moved into the top 10, sitting in 7th, looking really good as well. There's Wyatt Jones sitting in the 8th spot ahead of Mia Valdez. And BK Glover, the leading Team Impulse car, sitting right now in the 10th spot. They are charging forward. That's up 16 spots for Glover. So Glover looking really strong at the moment, ahead of Roberto Crown Jr. Mia Vitsut sitting in 12th. David Wessel in 13th place. Then it's Astra Crane 14th, 15th for Jamie Marie Jardine. Keisha Fox sits in the 16th position right now, ahead of Artyom Kozlov, who's moved up to 17th spot. 18th for Jace Clark, 19th and 20th where you'll find Andrew Draco and Alicia Kovalkiewicz on their own little island ahead of Karina Sakurauchi. Sonia Walker in 33rd, last place, but still running in this race. All 33 cars still running. Sonia Walker 4 laps down, but a pit stop will be coming soon, which will put Walker another lap down here, back to the 5 laps down. Hoping a caution comes out early so Walker could keep one of those laps, but unfortunately not the case. Cameron Jackson in 22nd place ahead of Maria D'Amata. Matthias Michelin in 24th. Not the way he expected this race to start for him. Rachel Koivanami in 25th. And Simona Leroux ahead of Julia Takami, 26th and 27th. 28th, Isabel Lantra. 29th, Katerina Milinkovic. And then Hazel Leon down in 30th after tagging the wall, entering pit lane. There was body damage done to the 32 car. Approaching that pit entry, that has thrown Hazel Leon down to 30th spot and just ahead of Shufan Zhang, the last car on the lead lap. Leaders have all been caught up to here, the top 4 put together. It is Lecty, Hart, Porter, and Ishibashi, your top 4. Chevrolet and 3 Fords. Nose to gearbox, and Catherine Hart wants a chance at the race lead. Has not led a lap yet in this race. Wants to make it happen on the northern of the racetrack. To the northern end. And what a door close by Lecty to keep hold of that race lead and check up Catherine Hart. Lecty continues to lead here. This will be her 28th lap in the race lead. Completing lap 50. Starting lap 51. It has been outstanding in this race so far. Ishibashi started in pole position, is the only one remotely close. Kira Moore down in the 32nd position after having a loose wheel take her out of the running. Moore a lap down, in danger of going another lap down here, sitting just ahead of the race leaders. Needs a little bit of help to avoid going another lap down to these top four. There is a cluster right now at the front of the field. And teammates again working 5th and 6th for Strickland Motorsports. Porter Kelly and Alexander working together at the moment. Again, Blissfish not far away either. There's BK Glover already. He's made it up to 8th place. He's gotten around Valdez and he's gotten around Wyatt Jones. BK Glover did not have a great qualifying effort, but he is making his way up the field here. Wyatt Jones peeked to the inside. Glover held him off. So 8th place for Glover right now. A fantastic job for the driver from Mineral Wells, Texas. Right now carrying the flag for Mobile One in their 50th anniversary here, and for Verizon Team Impulse. Doing a pretty exceptional job at the moment. Unfortunately for Glover, pretty out of range, 8 seconds away from the race leaders. But he's done a really good job so far of just clawing that race back in. He's running race leaders' pace right now too. 224.8 for both Glover and for Lechty. So they're mirroring each other right now. So he's not losing to the race leader. That's the important goal. If he can have another fantastic pit stop here around lap 80, that could help him out tremendously here. Wyatt Jones kind of resigning to sitting in the 9th spot at the moment, ahead of Mia Valdez. Remember, Wyatt Jones finished 10th in this race last year after starting 30th. But now it's a lot more competitive at the front of the field. Wyatt Jones had one of the best cars, but no cautions last year either. We've had none so far this year. We only had a couple in 2022. So it's been a pretty clean race. Everyone expecting it to stay that way here. V-Suit just outside the top 10 behind her teammate Valdez and ahead of Phantom Motors' David Wessel. Crane in 13th, staying right there. There's Artyom Kozlov also charging forward up to 15th. Sorry, excuse me, up to 14th after getting around Roberto Crown Jr. and Keisha Fox. Jamie Marie Jardine also sitting top 20 at the moment, after being in the drop zone and bump qualifying, making her way into the field the hard way last weekend. 18th place, 19th for Draco still. 20th is where you find Kovalkiewicz, ahead of Sakurashi in 21st. And Glover beginning to pull away, 226.9. Slows down a little bit here, 224.6, but a 226.9 was the fastest driver on track that lap before. It stabilized a little bit here, but still now faster than the race leader, which is now Catherine Hart. And that's why the leaders slowed down. The leaders has swapped positions. Catherine Hart now a lap leader at the Brickyard. And we'll lead another one here. 33 laps led for Lechty in this race so far out of 57 laps completed. Into the northern end of the racetrack, the northern chute. Lechty right on the gearbox of the 31. Top 6 have all led laps in this race, and they've, outside of Porter, who's only led one, they've all led more than one. Porter sits in the 3rd spot. ahead of Ishibashi. And closing in slowly but surely is the Striker Motorsports duo of Porter Kelly and Alexander. The tandem getting closer as these top four battle it out amongst themselves. Car with an engine failure. Kira Moore. They went from okay to bad to done. Kira Moore's race effectively over, will be the first retirement. Got down to use the warm-up lane in 3 and 4. And the slow crawl towards the second pit box on the pit lane will resign Kira Moore to a 33rd place finish in the Indianapolis 500 to complete just 59 laps. It is race over for Moore as Hart comes around to complete lap 60. Lefty fell back a little bit, trying to find some clean air for the nose of that Chevrolet, but now under pressure for Porter. 225.1 for the race leader, 224.8 for Porter Kelly, 226.1 for Glover. He is on fire right now and trying to close in rapidly. That 6 car is going to be a problem in this race. He gets another really good pit stop like what he did in the first pit stop sequence. He is going to be a threat with the pace that he's got right now. That 6 car is on a tow line towards the front of the field. He's on his own right now, and he's already gained a second on the leaders, which is incredible. Catherine Hart, front of the field, doing an exceptional job right now. Really grabbing the opportunity to shine with both hands here. And it's a much needed opportunity here for the Phantom Motorsports team. Both the 31 and 13 battling to stay top 26 to avoid being in that relegation zone. For those that maybe are just tuning in for Indianapolis for the first time, there's promotion and relegation between the Champ Car World Series, the IndyCar World Championship, and the Champ Car Challenger Series, the IndyCar National Championship. Top 4 entries have the ability to take a promotion up into the World Series for the following year in place of one of the bottom 4 from the World Series. And right now, both of the Phantom Motors cars in danger of that. This is the 8th race of the season for the World Series. Friday's race right here at Indy, the Cambridge 300, was the 6th race of 20 for the Challenger Series. So the 31 and the 13 both need fantastic days. The 31 right now needs it needs it a little bit more, and right now has it with the laps led. This is now 9 laps led for Catherine Hart, the Australian, front of the field. Kira Moore out with an engine failure that is confirmed now. The only retirement in this race so far, after having an issue with a loose wheel earlier in this race. Now the car is completely out after starting this race second in the field. Gut-wrenching, to say the least. Top 4 still close together under a blanket. Porter Kelly and Alexander getting ever so closer. Belisova just falling off a little bit here. Glover still pushing 225 mile-an-hour laps. The race leaders are nowhere close to that right now. 225.2. Catherine Hart at full 2 miles an hour slower, 223.2. Glover's on rails right now, that 6 car. He's pulling Wyatt Jones along with him, too, for his credit. Wyatt Jones also keeping the pace here the best that he can. And Mia Valdez also in a really good spot right now, 225.2. But right now, Glover's reeled all of this in by himself here. He is now 6.6 seconds adrift of the race leaders. He's gained 2 seconds in this stint alone. Which is fascinating to me, just how good that car right now is in the race trim. And it's about to become a 6-car fight. Everyone trying to save some fuel here, it looks like, is part of the game plan. All of them fell short of the lap 40 target, which means if they continue to fall short, there will be a splash and dash in the final 10 to 15 laps in this contest. Here we go. Catherine Hart dispatched from the race lead. That was the gap that Stryker needed to get both of their cars running into this group. Catherine Hart slots in right between them. And Porter Kelly, one of the strongest cars in the opening stanza of this race. Now back in the leaders group. Lefty leads over Evangeline Porter. And it's Sakura Ishibashi, Stephanie Porter Kelly, Catherine Hart, and Elise Alexander top 6. Glover and Wyatt Jones have both dispatched Felicevich. There's now nothing in the path between Glover and the race leaders. The pit stops in less than 10 laps time will change that course just a little bit more. "35 laps led for Lechty. 15 for Ishibashi, 13 for Catherine Hart. The lap leaders at the moment. And here comes the 25, trying, I think, foolishly, to make some inroads here. Thinks that he's got the faster car than Glover, when Glover's the one that's led him up to the top 7 at this point. But Jones thinking that he's got it right now. I would have just kind of kept rocking with Glover there. He's got the hot hand, he's got the hot car. I would have just kind of stuck it out there a little bit. Lechty and Porter still 1-2 at the moment. Lechty was one of the first ones that came down pit lane under that first green flag pit stop sequence. We'll see if Lechty does that again. Came in at the end of lap 36. Realistically, that means Lechty would be coming in now at the end of this lap. Cars in danger of going a lap down. That is Hazel Leon. How disappointing this race has been for her on her return to Champ Car after a mistake entering pit lane. Threw her right down the windpipe and down to 31st position. In danger of going a lap down. Lechty did come down pit lane this time by, so Went a lap longer, went 37 laps. It does give Porter the race lead once again over Ishibashi and Porter Kelly. The pit window is firmly open now. See what these three do. They pit together pretty closely on the last stint. And here comes Ishibashi on her own this time. She's got the first pit box. So she's got to get down to 60 miles an hour. See Cameron Jackson on pit lane. There's Shufin Jang on pit lane as well. Glover leaving pit lane. The 6th car, keep an eye on him and where he cycles out in all of this. There's Lechty coming out right behind this group. There's Porter staying out another lap. So Porter Kelly. Catherine Hart comes in. Alexander stays out. Leon comes down pit lane as well. Very busy pit lane as Sakurachi leaves pit lane. That 12 car pulling out of her box, and this is going to be a very busy pit lane on the exit. Takani gets ahead of Wyatt Jones, and this is going to be a very big traffic jam all the way through. All the cars down pit lane right now. Everyone navigating where they need to go. There's the 30 of Milinkovic. Here comes Porter and Porter Kelly down pit lane this time. And stereo. And you see where Lechty and Ishibashi are. They came out right next to each other as well. That's pretty critical too. See how everyone cycles through here on these pit stops. Alexander comes in from the race lead. She was one of the last ones to pit before, and it stays that way for Alexander this time. There's Porter leaving pit lane. Anyone ahead of Porter? I don't think so. Yeah, there's Porter Kelly, who had another slow pit stop. The 60 car, another bad pit stop. That does not help her case at all in this fight off pit lane. Porter could come, she's going to be in the top 4 easily. Alexander may be in the contention for that right now. Porter just came out of the race, come out of the pit stops there, that pit sequence, with the lead in hand. Obviously going to lose it here because cold tires versus warm tires for Lechty and Ishibashi, but that couldn't have been much better for Porter if she tried it. Yeah, there's Alexander leaving pit lane now, so she's not going to be in this top 4, in this top 3 group, I should say. And you see Catherine Hart there in 4th. We'll also get around Alexander with no problems there. There's Porter Kelly. So the teammates will get together, and look how close Glover got. Oh my goodness. That is outstanding. That is absolutely outstanding. Verizon Team Impulse have a dog in the fight. There's been a couple times where Glover's had a really good car. I don't think we've ever had a time where we could say that Glover's had a race-winning car. I think he might. And I think he knows it. leading lap 80. We are 2/5 of the way through this race. And there's a lot of people still in contention here. Hazel Leon, unfortunately not one of them, now officially a lap down. Sonia Walker, 4 laps down. Kira Moore out of this race with an engine failure. The only retirement of this race so far. Top 3, all 3 different teams. It's Chevrolet and Ford front of the field. But unlike what we've seen most of the month of May, it is Chevrolet with the advantage. What a weird way things work out here for all 3 of these drivers. 6th Indianapolis 500 for Nicole Lecty, 7th for Sakura Ishibashi. This is the 10th for Evangeline Porter in that 81 car. And they are working right now. Shufan Zhang, Taiwanese driver, about to go a lap down as well. Been a quiet day for Zhang, been a quiet day for Milinkovic in 29th place. Takani, Lantra, and Jackson battling for 26th right now, just behind Mia Vitsu. This is the 25th. There's Roberto Brown Jr., who had a very bad pit stop, down in 24th now. Trying to chase down teammate Maria D'Amata and the Swiss Miss Simona Leroux. Chloe Vanemi in 21st behind Mateus Michelin, and Karina Sakurauchi started this race 31st up to 19th. Not a bad run for the Night City denizen. Kovalkiewicz 18th. After starting this race in 20th, up 2 spots, working with teammate there, Keisha Fox. And trying to work against the Cola Wars, going up and battling for 15th there. That's Jace Clark in 16th, and Sonia Walker, who's 4 laps down, still in the 32nd position. Just still funny seeing the Coke versus Pepsi battle there. Camyron Jardine in 15th place, trying to chase down David Wessel in 14th. And then Artyom Kozlov down now in the 13th spot as caution has come out. Yellow has come out on the racetrack. And we're not entirely sure what's going on here. I think there's a car in pit lane. I have to assume there's a car in pit lane. There may not be. Caution is out, though, for the first time tonight. And for the first time in 2 years at the Indianapolis 500, we have a caution. And that bails Shufan Zhang out completely from going a lap down. Shufan Zhang in 30th place. And this will reset the field as everyone comes down pit lane. Pit lane is open. You'll see the lights on and the green flag at the pit entry, meaning that you're able to come down pit lane this time. Everyone's going to take advantage of that under this yellow to reset themselves and recalibrate where they're at on their sequence. It doesn't change the window a whole amount. You still need to make it 40 laps per stop here to be safe. The leaders all come down pit lane. Pit lane, a very busy place. 60 miles an hour, the pit lane speed limit. This big. Catherine Hart and Stephanie Porter-Kelly, fuel only on their stops. Lecty rolls out. There's Hazel Leon, who's a lap down. Not going to be a factor in this. There is Sakura Ishibashi and Evangeline Porter, 4 tires. Some took 2, some took none. Very interesting to see how that all played out. Now the field's going to be all together again. Traffic jam here. Everyone leaving pit lane. themselves situated here. Race leader Catherine Hart going with a fuel-only pit stop here. First caution in 2 years at the Indianapolis 500. Everyone getting situated and in the right position here. Took a second, but everyone's getting themselves in the right position and getting right back up to the field. We are 86 laps completed. We're on lap 87 right now. Lights out on the Ford Raptor pace truck. Which means we're getting ready to go back racing once again with the first caution in 2 years. It's Catherine Hart, Stephanie Porter-Kelly, Nicole Lechty, Sakura Ishibashi, and Evangeline Porter. Front of the field, it's Sonia Walker, who ended up retiring from the race, having some sort of fire in the number 36 car. So that is a Ford out and a Honda out as they go back racing here. The Indianapolis 500 back underway, and the two cars that took fuel only got a really good start. There's Maria D'Amata coming out of pit lane after having a loose wheel, and so D'Amata goes a lap down. Everyone trying to get around. Hazel Leon, wounded race car with a bent toe link from an error on the first pit stop where Leon hit the inside wall. Everyone trying to find the way around the 32. And you can see everyone rolling through the numbers and the motions there. There's Maria D'Amata out of pit lane and now out of the draft. Lechty in third. Porter-Kelly looking for the race lead. We'll peek to the inside here. And trouble, caution is out. Whoa! And a huge gaggle of cars. That is cars flipped and up and over. That is Kozlov, that is LaRoe. What happened here in this gaggle of cars to put us into caution for the second time? It has popped off in a massive way. This is Kozlov in the 3 car up ahead. Oh, this is going to be very interesting to see how this implodes. Oh no, Kozlov tried to close in on Michelin. Oh, and Sakurauchi gets a piece of it as well. And Leroux locked up the brakes, but hit the pit lane attenuator. And coming to a stop there, trying to avoid the incident. So a disaster there, as reporter Kelly had taken the lead of this race. A lot of cars in trouble here. Obviously a lot of drivers in awkward positions going through this. Let's go back to what happened to Sonia Walker. Because this is under caution for Sonia Walker that caused her retirement from this race. What happens here to Sonia Walker? This is approaching turns 3 and 4. Oh no, that's Maria D'Amata that's come to a complete stop on the racetrack. And that's why D'Amata came down pit lane. Oh my goodness. So pit stops are taking place once again. Everyone taking tires this time. It gives Nicole Leckie the race lead ahead of Ishibashi, Porter Kelly, and Glover's now in the top 5. For Verizon Team Impulse. Verizon Team Impulse back in the play despite Artyom Kozlov being out of this race. Matthias Michelin also out, as well as Simona Leroux, Sonia Walker, and Kira Moore all out. Second caution of the race. Closes things up again. Lights are out on the Ford Raptor pace car once again for the second restart of this race. out of turn 4 after a wild second caution here. Everyone trying to settle in to a groove once again. Green flag is in the air and away we go. Back to the field there. That is Sakurauchi and Maria Damata there. Front of the field. Two cars trying to isolate themselves. Once again, it's Lechty and Ishibashi. Ahead of Porter and Porter Kelly. Velisevich is in this mix once again. Glover's in this mix. And look at the 25 of Wyatt Jones. Once again in the hunt. Outstanding stuff right now. Wyatt Jones back in the mix. Captain Hart also in the mix now. Luis Alexander struggling to keep pace. There's Andrew Draco right now. Draco right now in the 10th spot. David Wessel's dropped a couple spots down to the 14th position as things run. Groups all together as we approach the halfway point here at the Indianapolis 500. We've had two cautions, which has resulted in 5 DNFs. Kira Moore, Sonia Walker, Artyom Kozlov, Simona Leroux, and Mateus Michelin out of this race. Hazel Leon and Maria Damata both 1 lap down. Gives us 26 cars on the lead lap as things currently run. Nicole Lechty, most laps led in this race, 51 laps out of 98 completed. We come to start lap 100 at the end of this lap. And there's Lechty that leads us to lap 100. Family going at it here. Porter Kelly around Porter. Stephanie attacking Evangeline. Both in the hunt. There's Velisevich, and look at Glover. That gold and black number 6 car, that Mobil 1 machine, has made his way into the top 5. That is incredible for Glover. 26 to 5th is where things stand right now. Here comes Porter once again to defend from her sister. Porter Kelly trying to get the 3rd place here, and does so. Here comes Glover looking for 4th. Side by side, Ford versus Toyota. Porter's going to have to slot in behind her teammate Vulisevich there. Just watching it all play out here. Spread out a little bit between the top three, between Lechty, Ishibashi, and Porter Kelly. Glover and Vulisevich, two very strong cars right now. Round out your top five. Porter, another strong car, the 81 car. Wyatt Jones had a strong car as well. And Catherine Hart's been very scrappy in that 31 machine. It's a very top fit, top 8. Draco's up to 9th ahead of Valdez. Wessel back up into the 11th spot momentarily. Contact between Crane and Wessel. And you can tell the intensity has fired up as we've entered the second half of this race. Because that's contact we've already seen drivers not survive earlier in this race, and we didn't see them survive at all on Friday. Scrolling through the field here as the field struggles to stay together. Front of the field has found no problem playing with magnets almost. Lechty lead once again, 58 laps led over Ishibashi, who has 15 laps led, and Stephanie Porter Kelly, who's only led 4 laps in this race. Catherine Hart's led 19 in this race, but sits in 7th. Drivers that have yet to leave a lap, of course, it's Glover and Vulisevich, who have not been to the front yet in this race. This is the closest they've been to it. As here comes Ishibashi slowing down Lechty through the north end of the racetrack, heading south now. Lechty trying to defend the race lead. Chevrolet on Ford. Chevrolet defends. And here comes Porter Kelly in the fight. Glover peeking to the inside as well. Porter Kelly shuts the door and goes for second place. Toyota is in the fight. They've only got one car in this 8-car group, but it is BK Glover. Trying to get that golden black Toyota for Verizon Team Impulse to victory lane for the 4th year in a row. Talked about it before. Cat Devil Racing won 4 in a row, 2015 to 2018. Kenosha won 3 of those races. Stephen Nash won the other one in 2016. LM competition with Mercedes won in 2020, and that's been Verizon Team Impulse all the way through. And Glover's in that mix again and in the 3rd spot. Porter Kelly and Lechty, Chevrolets 1 and 2, Toyota up to 3rd, and Toyota's had the mileage. They've had the fuel mileage to beat. That it could be very critical in this race. At this stanza, Porter Kelly goes to the front of the field. Glover up to 2nd. Vulisevich stays in 4th behind Lechty. The Iron Maiden drops down the order. And here comes Vulisevich peeking to the inside. No dice there, stays 4th. Lechty looking to try to take that position back away from Glover. Glover's got a lot of strong pace though in that 6 car. Shuts the door into turn 1. Glover wants a chance to lead this race. Top 8 still together. Hart and Wyatt Jones struggling to stay with this top 6 group. Dirty Air beginning to play a factor here. Here comes Lechty around Glover this time. Glover held it off in the southern end of the racetrack, just couldn't do it so on the northern end of the racetrack. So Lechty now back up to the 2nd spot. Glover will defend from Ishibashi, though, former teammates, now rivals. Glover stays in the 4th spot. Porter defends from Captain Hart while also looking simultaneously to try to get around Ishibashi. And the top 8 once again pretty well close together and sealed up again. Letty in second, Vulicevic now in third. Outstanding stuff here in the top 8. We'll sort of browse back a little bit here because Jamie Nari-Jardine has now set sail in that 22 car in ninth. Another Toyota ahead of the Ford of Andrew Draco, who stays top 10 ahead of Astra Crane. Crane sitting 11th, still holding strong in that Honda. Then you have Jace Clark in that 9 car for Atomic Autosport as well. Then Mia Valdez, Alicia Kovalkiewicz also in the top 15 now. Right now in the 14th spot ahead of David Wessel, who is holding off the one of the other Atomic car, not Atomic, the Arrowhead cars in Koivanami. Koivanami trying to get into the top 15 right now. There's Alexander, who's fallen off just a little bit. There's Juliet Takani. Right now sitting in the 18th position. Keisha Fox in 19th. And Isabel Lantra, she's moved up the order to 20th spot. The Maltese driver. And you have some stragglers. There's Vitsut, there's Crown, there's Shufan Zhang, there's Cameron Jackson, there's Hazel Leon, who's a lap down, there's Katerina Malinkovic, there's Karina Sakurauchi, the last car on the lead lap. And then you have the 8 of Maria Damata, who's about to go another lap down in this race as things look so far. Pit stops should not be too far away here, about the next 10-15 laps at the most. And it is 8 cars under a blanket at the front of the field. Stephanie Porter-Kelly leads the way. And what has been a pretty wide open affair here, and there's cars coming down pit lane. I do have to believe, no, there wasn't. That's Karina Sakurauchi, who I don't believe pit last time around. Here comes Porter around Ishibashi as for 4th place right now. Sorry, 5th place, excuse me. Because there's still Vulicevic in the top 3 as well. Glover in 4th. Lecty trying to get to the race lead, forces Porter-Kelly into the dirtier part of the racetrack. And gets it. Porter-Kelly slams the door shut on Vulicevic, though, to avoid the bleeding that we've seen so often. Her 1 position drop turns into 5. Lecty now once again leads this race. Porter-Kelly looks to the inside and forces her way back to the front of the field. And now Lecty in a threat from Vulicevic once again. That is Damata that's about to go a lap down. Sakurauchi coming out of pit lane, 2 laps down. And trying to stay out of the way of the race leaders. That's not good. This checks up the entire field, who now will have to try to serpentine and get around. And Sakurauchi will be stuck on the outside lane here. But eventually all 8 of those cars will get around. That was sketchy, though. And the leaders have to do the exact same thing with Maria Damata. And Porticali makes very quick work of that. Made sure the door was open entering turns 3 and 4. He's going to waste very little time being around some of the slow traffic. And Catherine Hart peeled to the outside lane as Wyatt Jones decided to make a pick there. Wyatt Jones will look to the inside of D'Amata here, but will lose time on the top 6 because of his bad timing for the pass on Captain Hart. It hung both of them up behind the 8 car. And then there were 6 in this lead group. Approaching lap 120, approaching the 3/5 mark of this race here. When we get past lap 120. Pit stops again, not far away at this point. Jardin's got around Sakurauchi with minimal issue there. There's Mia Valdez going to try to do the same. And David Wessel in the 41. Crane gets tired of waiting for Wessel to make a move, so Crane's going to try to spearhead the effort to get around the 12 car. Almost through, was a 3 wide there for a moment. Alexander had to back out of it as Cliff and Amy shot the gap. Front of the field once again, Porticali going for the race lead. Lefties led 65 laps. Porticali's led 13. And Lefty's going to defend well from Vilicevic to hold on to that second spot. Less than 80 laps to go, 79 laps to go in this race. Realistically, this is a 2 pit stop race. The further we go into this without a pit stop, this becomes a pretty easy 2-stop race for everybody. They can hold on. Porticali trying to get around her teammate, Katerina Malinkovic. And Malinkovic will make it easy on her teammate, her team boss, Porticali. And now the rest of the group in the top 7 will try to get away around down the front straightaway. You see the effects that Catherine Hart has had to deal with after being pinned behind D'Amata. Just kind of left her stranded. And wasting no time getting around the 30 car this time. Just trying to deal with that traffic, and this is a beautiful time to do that too. Porticali has waltzed away as this group's begun to in-flight. Lechty and Vilicevic, Porter and Ishibashi. That is Jones and Glover. All of them infighting. It's helped out Catherine Hart, and it's really helped out Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Just pit stops, they are rapidly approaching. Trying to catch up to this driver right here, Stephanie Porter-Kelly, looking for race win 47 and her second Indianapolis 500 victory after winning back in 2009. Three-time IndyCar World Champion, 2014 Grand Prix World Champion. Leading the way right now at Indianapolis as we complete lap 126. Porter-Kelly, Lechty, Vilicevic, Porter, and Ishibashi, your top five. Wyatt Jones up to 6. Catherine Hart 7th, BK Glover in 8th. 9th on her own is Jamie Marie Jardine. And then Mia Valdez rounds out the top 10 at the moment, ahead of Astrid Crane, David Wessel, Andrew Draco, Elise Alexander, and others. See the skid marks from the warpath those two cautions earlier in this race have caused. Here comes pit stops. Lechty's in, so is Vilicevic, and so is Wyatt Jones as well. So 3 of the 5 came in here. Catherine Hart looks to the inside of Evangeline Porter. Trying to capitalize here. Get ready for pit stops. And Glover will get around as well. This is where Porter-Kelly's had kryptonite. Pit stops have not been that 60 car strong suit through this race, which has not been fortunate. Gonna try this time. Come down pit lane. Very late on the brakes. Comes in late on the brakes there, and everyone in the top 5 comes in. And this is everyone coming down pit lane. Keisha Fox, one of the first ones that came down pit lane, will breeze on by here. It's Porter-Kelly in her box. We're approaching her box, as is Catherine Hart and Sakura Ishibashi. And Shiva Jang leaves pit lane after fulfilling service. There's Hazel Leon leaving pit lane as well. Porter-Kelly looks like a good stop there. Same with Glover. A slow stop there for Porter. Did not help. Hart gets around Ishibashi on pit exit. Just absolutely lets it rip on the pit exit there. Vilicevic and Lechty coming around turn 2. There's Porter. There's Porter-Kelly. So she's going to be in this group still. So that's the best pit stop Porter-Kelly's had, and there's only going to be one left to make. That is huge. So Porter-Kelly going to try to hang on to Vilicevic and Lechty and hope that these two battle it out a little bit to pull her back in. Wyatt Jones up to 4th, but there's a pretty decent chance he's going to get caught up by Hart, by Ishibashi, and by Glover. order a very slow pit stop there. And not what you need at this point in the race. Richardine, a pretty standard pit stop there in the 9th position. Mia Valdez stays 10th, just ahead of Asher Crane. Andrew Draco, a good pit stop, in 11th right now. Kelly needs these two to battle out just a little bit. Vucevic has yet to lead a lap in this race, that 7 car. .67 laps led for Lefty. Trying to put the nail in the hammer for most laps led here at the Brickyard. Trying to go and win this race. Vucevic going to be a big threat to that right now. A few drivers that could be a really big threat to that. These two pit together. They had both had amazing pit stops. And these two are not letting Porticali get close. I think they both know that Porticali's got a very strong car. If she gets a whiff of slipstream, she's right in it. They're trying to separate and isolate, but they've got lap traffic up ahead. That's Hazel Leon. That's Cameron Jackson right ahead. That's going to slow these two down and allow Porticali the opportunity to come back into this fight for the lead group. Got right up behind Hazel Leon. Slows him down a little bit here through turns 1 and 2. Porticali in 3rd. Gonna have to try to muscle her way forward here on this one. 4 cars in this group: Jones, Hart, Ishibashi, and Glover. That is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Porter in 8th. Coming to 65 laps to go here in Indianapolis. It has been an absolutely wild and amazing race so far. A lot of green flag pit stops, a lot of strategy calls now in the mix. When do you make that last pit stop? Got to get to at least lap 165 for it to be a safe pit stop to the end of the race. Asher Crane's got around Mia Valdez for that 10th spot. And there you see it, 10th, 11th, 12th on your screen. David Wessel. There's Kovalkiewicz. There's Alexander, Clark, Koivanami's in this mix. There's Keisha Fox as well. And Julia DeConnie. All 4 of the Arrowhead Racing cars. Pretty well close together. 14th, 15th, 18th, and 19th were the 4 Arrowhead cars in this field. And then you have Milenkovic, who's a lap down. Isabel Lantra 20th on the lead lap, ahead of Roberto Crown Jr. Shufan Zhang and Mia Vietz, the last 2 cars on the lead lap. But they're on the same straightaway as the race leaders. rallying around Sakurachi here, putting Karina 3 laps down at this stanza in the race. Not a great timeout for Sakurachi, who qualified 31st, had some pace, but then involved in a caution and has just been lingering since. Milicevic now leading this race. Most of the top 10 has led laps so far. Wyatt Jones has yet to lead a lap. Glover's yet to lead a lap as well. Both those in the top 8. Here comes Letty once again to try to take that lead right back, and will do so. And Milicevic didn't really contest that too awful hard either. Letty back out front. Bertelli in third behind Milicevic here. Jones and Ishibashi trying to negotiate around the 8 of Maria D'Amata. See all the lap traffic that's been in the way here. It's really broken up this group in a massive way. Draco sitting right now in the 12th spot behind Mia Valdez. Asher Crane sitting top 10 right now. There's Wessel, there's Chloe Vanami and Clark's battling side by side through 1 and 2, and Clark's can get the advantage here in that. More lap traffic leaning up ahead for the race leaders. So that's 76 laps in this race. Coming to lead lap 77 of this race. Milicevic led 3 laps. And these two making sure that Porticali is not in this conversation. 1.7 was the gap last time around. And the updates this time through. Still 1.7. Porticali in third. Wyatt Jones fourth. Right now 5th is Sakura Ishibashi. BK Glover in 6th. With some work to do, Catherine Hart sitting 7th. Evangeline Porter has fallen a lot in this group. That's Jamie Marie Jardine now in 8th. Crane in 9th. Valdez in 10th. Porter's dropped all the way down to 11th because of lap traffic with Cameron Jackson and Hazel Leon and her teammate Maria D'Amata. So Porter's attempts to return to the podium here at the Brickyard have been pretty well squandered at this point, without a huge assist in the next 54 laps. Oh, trouble. Smoke, that's Velicevic. And caution does come out. Velicevic in trouble. That was near the front of the field with Nicole Lechty. This is in the south part of the racetrack, heading north now. And Velicevic trying to stay off the racing surface, rolling through the grass. What happened to Velicevic? This is with Lechty. Oh, this is bad. That is both the race leaders out of this race. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Caution is out for the third time. And it is for Nicole Lechty and Natalia Velicevic. And again, Velicevic has their nose in there. Lechty tried to shut the door, and both of them hard side impacts into the safer barrier. Thankfully, the safer barrier and not the concrete in between the corners. And again, it's just slow in. Lechty tried shutting the door. Velicevic was there, though. Both clipped the grass, shoot right up the racetrack. Huge, immediate side impact there with Velicevic. But thankfully, safer barrier. Again, that's steel and foam. Energy reduction system. You see Porter Kelly get really close as she takes the lead of the race. Now on pit lane. Intriguingly, a lot of cars stay out because they know that no one can make it from this point in the race. What a nightmare if you're Lechty and Velicevic battling so hard with over 50 laps to go in this race, and now they're both out. Velicevic is out, Lechty is out. They both are done for the day. And the lap down cars coming down pit lane this time. This is very interesting the way things are lined up right now. Some cars staying out here. Porter Kelly topping off with fuel. It's very interesting at this stanza in this race. Several cars that she's got to get through now. Sakura Ishibashi leads this race over her teammate Mia Valdez. Evangeline Porter We talked about needing a miracle to get back into the conversation. She's back in the conversation in third. Then you have Maria D'Amata, who's a lap down. Going to be in the way here by a significant amount over Juliette Tacani. Then you have Porter Kelly, then Wyatt Jones, then Catherine Hart, BK Glover there. There's Astrid Crane, there's Jamie Nari-Jardine, there's Andrew Draco, David Wessel. Two of the strongest cars in this race take each other out. Nicole Letty led 79 laps in this race, but will not see the checkered flag. Browsing and perusing through the field. We're coming to 49 laps to go, and lights out on that Ford Raptor pace truck, which means we are about to go back to racing once again. Off our third caution to our third restart, and it is Sakura Ishibashi out front. The pole sitter will lead us to green once again. Several cars out of this race. It's a wide open fight now. Canada Racing 1-2 to the green flag. The pace car is in, and away we go. Once again, 49 laps to go. In the greatest spectacle in motorsports. Three cars in a bundle together. Everyone trying to get around Maria D'Amata. And a lot of the drivers that needed to did. D'Amata blocking Jamie Nari-Jardine though. Not going to be well received for D'Amata, who has checked up everyone from Nari-Jardine back. And this once again isolates the front of the field from the rest. And Nari-Jardine was hoping to stay in that group. As a car comes down pit lane. Who is that coming down pit lane right now? That is Tacani. Ishibashi leads. Valdez trying to play rear gunner for her teammate right now. Porter peeks to the inside, will stay in third. Porter Kelly up to fourth. Remember, she topped off with fuel. She's good. So is Glover. So is Jones. They're not good to the end of the race, but they can go a lot longer here. They put themselves off sequence in the hope that a caution comes out late and pins most of these drivers a lap down. And it's not a bad bet. We've had 3 cautions. Last year we had none. We had 2 in 2022. So this is huge. Fast lap of the race was set by BK Glover. 228.0 miles an hour by Glover, who right now sits top 5. Porter Kelly's dispatched her sister. Chasing down the Cat Devil Racing duo. Remember, fuel only on that stop. There was no tires taken by Porter-Kelly. So all the cars in this group are on the same level tire-wise. Porter-Kelly's got more weight. And right now it's working wonders for that 60 car. He's gotten right to the gearbox of Valdez. Glover's been passed by Jones for 5th once again. Those two keep changing positions, and they're not catching this top 4. Porter-Kelly's walked away from Porter, and Porter's in trouble right now. Porter-Kelly gets around Valdez. One obstacle down. Six cars fighting. Then you have Crane. There is Nari Jardine. There's Draco in the mix. There's Captain Hart, David Wessel, all three of the Phantom Motors machines in this fight right now to get into the top 10. Wessel right now sits 11th, the odd one out so far. And here comes Porter-Kelly looking to the inside of Ishibashi, and that was close, but it's done. Porter-Kelly out front. Ishibashi led 26 laps in this race. Porter-Kelly's led 23. Catherine Hart's led 19. Those are the lap leaders that are still running in this race. Again, no one's touched or even come close to the 79 laps led by Nicole Lechty. And with coming to 40 laps to go, I don't think anyone's going to really have a chance to get close at this point, unless it is Porter-Kelly or Ishibashi. But you've got to basically lead out at this point, and that's going to be very hard to do with everyone on different strategy calls. That's 3 wide. That's Wyatt Jones and BK Glover getting around Ishibashi, and they do so. But that is a pucker factor of 11 to make that happen. So Ishibashi now to the tail of the 6-car queue. Captain Hart gets around Andrew Draco. Teammates there battling it out after they got around Nari Jardine and Esther Crane. There's the 41 of Wessel. There's the 11 of Alexander in 12th right now. Keisha Fox 13th. Rachel Cuevanemi in 14th. Isabel Lantra was 15th, now has dropped down the running order here. That's Roberto Crown Jr. now in the 15th spot ahead of Jace Clark, Alicia Kovalkiewicz, and Lantra down to 18th place. 19th for Shufan Zhang. And Mia Vitsut, the last car running on the lead lap. A lot of lap down cars at this point. Cameron Jackson, one of them, alongside Katerina Malinkovic and Juliet Takani. Hazel Leon, 2 laps down. Maria D'Amata and Karina Sakurauchi, 3 laps down each. Porter-Kelly leads the way and has left the field for abandon. Oh dear. This is interesting. And look who's climbed up to 3rd place. Wyatt Jones trying to find a way around before Porter-Kelly gets too far out of range. This is huge. They got to find a way around here. Glover couldn't find a way around Porter. That's Sakurauchi up ahead. And Porter-Kelly. Jones still sitting behind the 34. Trying to work together, trying to find pace to make this happen here with less than 40 laps to go. Coming to 38 laps to go now. Insanity in this race so far in the last 38 laps, and almost guaranteed at this point. Porter-Kelly's opened up a pretty significant gap on Valdez and Wyatt Jones. to second. It's 1.5. Here comes Wyatt Jones. He knows that he keeps losing time. As he gets around, Porticelli's going to try to find a way around Sakurauchi. She's going to get checked up out of 4. That's not what she needed. She's going to need to hope Wyatt Jones does the same. She gets clear. Wyatt Jones will be hung up. Oh, this is going to be even worse for Wyatt Jones on the south end of the racetrack. Stuck behind in turns 1 and 2. Oh, they're going to try to play Sakurauchi 3 wide. That's not going to work. That checks up Glover and Porter. It's going to pull Captain Hart right back into it. And Porter just struggling with lap traffic right now. Finally makes a move there. Try to find a way around the 12. Lap traffic has played bedlam. And it's now become a 2-car fight between a pair of 3-time champions. Porter Kelly leads the way. 3-time IndyCar World Champion, 46-time race winner against Wyatt Jones, looking for his first Champ Car race win, but a 3-time AT&T Cup Series champion, and his second Indianapolis 500. They have pulled themselves away from Mia Valdez, BK Glover and company. No one's good to go to the end on fuel. The window is open now to make that last pit stop. Remember, there's some drivers that did not come down pit lane under that last caution. They will be among the first ones to come down pit lane. Both Jones and Porticelli topped off with fuel. And now it's a 2-car fight. Glover sitting right now in 4th position behind Valdez. If anyone can add their name to the conversation, it would be him at this point. 2 cars in the mix, and they've got to go and make a last pit stop here in the last 15 laps of the race, possibly is how it's going to end up playing out for them. Valdez will be one of the first ones that do come in over the next 15 laps. Valdez, Ishibashi, and Porter will all have to come in. They'll be among the first ones in. There'll be a lap down initially, and they've got to hope that things play out correctly. Asher Crane has already come down pit lane. Crane is someone that had to come down pit lane, or had to come down pit lane earlier. Did not come down pit lane under that initial restart. So Crane's decided that the window's open. Now's the time to take it, and here comes Valdez on cue, and so is Ishibashi and Porter. So right on cue, all of them are in because the window is open. They can make it from here safely. That's huge. So it leaves those that have not come down pit lane yet to have one more stop to make. Porter Kelly, Jones, and Glover. Wyatt Jones has had some pretty interesting judgment calls today. He needs to work with Porter Kelly right now to make sure that Glover does not close in. Because Glover's inarguably got the best car in the field right now, those that are still on the racetrack and need to make a pit stop. '26th right now to 3rd is no joke. Wyatt Jones, though, he has not led a lap at the Indianapolis 500 in his career yet. He would love to change that today. Even better, he would love to win it. In qualifying, he was the 9th best Ford. Something that kind of stuck with him a little bit over the past week. And right now they are walking away from Glover. 3 seconds the gap now between second and third. Wyatt Jones wants a chance to lead here at Indianapolis. Wants to show that he fits in, that he can belong in this group. Kelly now with 38 laps led. It's huge right now. Glover in third. Catherine Hart right now in fourth. And everyone's really splintered right now. Andrew Draco in sixth. David Wessel in the 8th spot behind Alexander, who's taken 7th away. Rachel Cloyvanami's up to the top 10 provisionally at the moment. There's Chase Clark trying to find a way around Maria D'Amata, who has not been a very kind back marker at this stanza. And teammates will battle there. It's Keisha Fox and Alicia Kovalkiewicz. And there's Mia Valdez, first car a lap down, and a decent chunk a lap down too. There is Ishibashi, there's Evangeline Porter. These two continue to lead the way. We're coming to 26 laps to go. Again, everyone that has not made a pit stop yet, everyone that is in the top 16 has to make a pit stop at this point. Astra Crane has fallen out of this race with an engine failure. At the 10th place grid drop for next weekend in Nazareth. Same thing. Well, Kira Moore's a part-time entry, so she's not going to really have much of an effect with that 10th place grid drop. So only one engine failure for the full-time drivers, and that is Crane. Moore with an engine failure won't have to serve that until her next champ car start this year, which may very well just be Fontana at the end of the season. 25 laps to go. Nicole Lechty, I know a lot of insult to injury. Most laps led points guaranteed to Lechty here with 25 laps to go. Porter Kelly cannot get to 79 laps led. Right now at 41. Could get to 66. Can't get to 79. Wyatt Jones saving a little bit of fuel, just sitting and waiting behind the 60. Two extremely experienced drivers at the Speedway. Wyatt Jones, a Brickyard 400 winner. Porter Kelly, 2009 Indy 500 champion. 3-time IndyCar World Champion. Wyatt Jones, 3-time AT&T Cup Series champion. A lot of race wins, a lot of championships between these two drivers. 1 and 2 right now in the final 8th of this race. They've got 4.6 seconds over BK Glover right now. It is genuinely, at this point, a 2-car race. At the end, they topped off and took fuel only on that 3rd caution. knowing they were not good to the end. But it gave them the ability to do this. When everyone else came down pit lane and it fragmented those behind them, they were able to pick off those positions and run through. .40 chess being played by two absolute veterans in the sport. Porticali looking to win the 500 for the first time since 2009. 16 years ago. A lot has changed in 16 years. 2009, last year of the old Dallara IR 00 chassis, before we moved to the Dallara IR 10s. Now, completely new chassis provider with AAI producing the chassis. One thing's not changed though, and that is right now Porticali with a Chevrolet, trying to lead the way. 21 laps to go as they approach Sakurauchi to put her a lap down once again. Porticali makes the move there, and she will lead both the lead lap cars, both leaders, around the 12 car. Coming to 20 laps to go in this race, and it is electric all the way through. Glover sits in the third spot, 5.5 adrift. Then it's Captain Hart, Andrew Draco, teammates there. Phantom Motors ahead of the second Verizon Team Impulse car of Jamie Marie Jardine. Three of them in the race. Artyom Kozlov out. Sakurauchi obviously going a lap down again. That is a fifth lap down for the 12 after being involved in an incident in the first half of this race. Marie Jardine just wanted a chance to compete and has done so here at the Brickyard in the Indianapolis 500. There's David Wessel trying to stay ahead of Rachel Koivanemi, ahead of Mia Valdez, who's a lap down right now. And right now is stuck in this group. I don't think Valdez would cycle back out to be near the race lead as things are. Currently just kind of stuck in this group right now. And you look further back, it's even more treacherous if you look at where Porter and Ishibashi are stuck. I think that they're so stuck in traffic right now. I don't think there's an easy way for them to get back to the lead of the race, which is disastrous right now for them. Cars in pit lane, that is V2. So pit stop's not far away for the race leaders. 25 cars still running. Cars on pit lane, that's Keisha Fox and Cameron Jackson on pit lane. Kelly beginning to put a little bit more distance between herself and Wyatt Jones, and Jones is going to come down pit lane right here. Money stop, coming to 15 to go. Portichelli stays out. One more lap. Critical stuff right now. Glover came in as well. Draco stayed out. So Draco will move up to second place for the time being. But we know pit stop's not far away. For this driver right here, Stephanie Portichelli. Pit stops overall have not been very kind to the 60 car. They need to be kind here. This needs to be a fantastic stop. And in comes the 60. And Draco will do the same. This will put Valdez back on the lead lap, but I think she's going to be very far away from the lead of this race. We're going to find out. That's Marie Jardine trying to stay ahead, and that's not close to the race leaders at all. Portichelli leaving pit lane. We saw Wyatt Jones. He was approaching turn 1. Where do they all cycle through? Oh, Portichelli's got an amazing pit stop. Wyatt Jones will get into drafting distance with Portichelli getting up to speed, but Portichelli got the advantage there. Wyatt Jones stays second place as things run. Glover stays third. It's a little bit more chaotic. If you look beyond third place, you look down at Andrew Draco, you look at Catherine Hart, Marie Jardine, Mia Valdez. David also stays top 10 provisionally as things sit. There's Sakurai Ishibashi, and the field is now in the mix. Sakurauchi comes down pit lane for the final time as well. And Valdez gets around Hart. And these two back under a blanket once again. This is where Wyatt Jones sits in the catbird seat. He's been so patient throughout this race, sitting and waiting. When does he pick the time to make his move? He's got to wait until the last second. I know you want to go out and you want to lead laps here, but Portichelli's been so efficient in passing cars today. You do not want to give her time to make a return attack here. Wyatt Jones has not passed Portichelli at all in this race. You have to pass her at least once to figure out what you can do, or how easy it is to do. Traffic will check both of them up. Wyatt Jones being extra cautious right now. This is a chance to win the race of his life. He peeks to the inside. He is going to go for it here. He is going to go for it. But he got checked up by Leon. He did get the pass gone through. So he will lead a lap finally in this race. He'll complete lap 190 as the race leader. 10 laps to go. Still a lap car, Maria D'Amata in the way there. Actually, a lot of potential lap traffic here, because that is Feet Suit, that is Jackson, that is Shufan Zhang, all in the mix as well. So this could be a disaster. Oh, and Portichelli peeked to the inside. Jones covered it off. 9 laps to go. And there is traffic waiting for them. 3 cars that they've got to work their way through. Wyatt's lost his temper a lot in his time in Champ Car. Of all times right now, he needs to have the coolest head. Porter Kelly has the chance, though, to pin him as they approach this traffic side by side. 8 laps to go. Porter Kelly takes the race lead back. Oh, this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. Whatever happens here is going to be absolutely insane. Glover stays in 3rd, and he is on an island on his own, 3 seconds clear of Valdez, Marie Jardine and company. There's Draco, there's Hart. Wessel's not too far away either, with Ishibashi in tow, and Evangeline Porter right now sitting in the top 10. In danger of being put in this group with Fox, with Clark, Koivanemi, and Alexander. Porter Kelly's gotten to the draft, the slipstream of Mia Vitsu. Well, she peeks to the inside. Really wanted to go for it. We'll have to wait. But she's being aggressive, which is what she needs to do right now, coming to 6 laps to go. And she immediately puts herself on that inside lane. Knows she has to. Stay ahead of Wyatt Jones. Importantly, Wyatt Jones far enough back. Whoa! Oh my goodness! Tried to go 2 for 1. It did not work. Cameron Jackson shut the door. And now Wyatt Jones has got the opportunity of a lifetime with 6 laps to go. Oh my goodness. Jones now has 2 cars as a buffer coming to 5 laps to go. And it's Porter Kelly overzealous at the worst possible time. Porter Kelly may have just cost herself the Indianapolis 500. Wyatt Jones has got Vitsu ahead, or Vitsu between, and Shufan Zhang up ahead. And Porter Kelly's got to get back on the ball here, coming to 4 laps to go. It's not impossible, but it looks unlikely. As Jones goes after Shufan Zhang to put Zhang a lap down, Porter Kelly will find a way around Vitsu. We're going to try to find a way around here, going into 3 and 4. We're coming to 3 laps to go. Oh, this is not good for Jones, though. Got held up a lot by Sakurauchi. This is going to let Porter Kelly get right back into the mix. She's got to look to the inside here, though. She's got to make this pass into 1. She doesn't. Oh, that is the race right there. Wyatt Jones now in the clear. And Porter Kelly still can't get around Sakurauchi. She's got damage. Two laps to go for Wyatt Jones. He's got a 2nd and 7/10 at the front of this field. Coming to the white flag. It's 1 lap to go for Wyatt Jones. He had a fantastic car last year, but it had to come from 30th on the grid to finish 10th. Started in 13th position alongside Porter Kelly. Down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Out of turn 4, headed to home. Wyatt Jones and Ludwig Motorsports have done the unthinkable. Wyatt Jones, welcome to immortality. Winner of the 111th Indianapolis 500-mile race, Wyatt Jones over Stephanie Porter Kelly. BK Glover finishes 3rd after starting this race 26th. A fantastic effort for Glover. Mia Valdez ends up finishing this race in 5th behind Jamie Marie Jardine, who gets a 4th place finish on a return to the Brickyard. Catherine Hart in 6th, Andrew Draco in 7th. David Wessel 8th, Evangeline Porter 9th, Sakura Ishibashi rounds out the top 10 here at the Indianapolis 500. Jace Clark 11th, Elise Alexander in 12th, Rachel Koivanemi 13th, had Keisha Fox and Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Most of the Arrowhead racing cars right there together, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Isabel Lantra in 16th, with Roberto Crown Jr. there in 17th place, both of them together. Roberto Crown Jr., the last car in the lead lap. Mia Vitsut, the first car a lap down. Shufan Zhang. Sitting in 19th place, Julie Takani, 20th, also a lap down. Katerina Milinkovic, 2 laps down there behind Cameron Jackson. 21st, 22nd for them. Hazel Leon, 3 laps down in 23rd. Not the way she wanted to return the Champ Car racing. Maria D'Amata, 24th, 5 laps down. Karina Sakurauchi, the last finisher, 6 laps down at the end in the 25th position. Several cars out of this race as the results scroll at the top of your screen. It's Astrid Crane, Nicole Lechty, Natalia Velisevich, Mateus Michelin, Simona Leroux, Artyom Kozlov, Sonia Walker, and Kira Moore, the retirements in this race. Wyatt Jones will have his face emblazed in chrome on the Germain Espinoza Trophy for the first time as an Indianapolis 500 champion. His first career Champ Car race win is the biggest race in the world. Congrats to the Ludwig Motorsports team. Their sophomore attempt at the 500 is victorious ahead of Stephanie Porter Kelly after a frantic fight in the final 10 laps. Post-race coverage will continue on ABN Plus. We sit here at almost 3 hours broadcast distance here on ABN, here on cable. ABN Plus will carry post-race coverage all the way through the next hour here from Indianapolis. We'll talk to our champion Wyatt Jones, Stephanie Porter Kelly, BK Glover, and a lot of the field here in Media Center here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Evangeline Porter, championship leader now as we head to the doubleheader in Nazareth. It's going to be a very busy weekend on ABN and ABN 1 next weekend. The Champ Car World Series Nazareth doubleheader next weekend, May 24th and May 25th in Nazareth Speedway in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. The Champ Car Challenger Series heads to New England to race in New Hampshire at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on May 25th as well. So a lot of racing to go on the other side of the Indianapolis 500 to end out the month of May on Memorial Day weekend. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, for Horizon Corporation, AT&T, and the Champ Car World Series, congratulations to Wyatt Jones, winner of the Indianapolis 500. I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Join us for post-race coverage on ABN Plus. Until next time, from Indianapolis, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next weekend in Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. Until next time, so long, everybody.